Hello everyone, welcome to Hexcells Plus. Right off the back of Hexcells, I thought we would carry on the puzzle train, and we have 36 more puzzles here, and we will start at 1-1. So if you didn't see the original video, we've got a bit of a tutorial here. Correctly mark all orange cells blue or black to solve the puzzle. A number in a cell tells you how many adjacent cells are blue. So if you know the rules for Minesweeper, you understand the rules for this. Again, the wonderful sound design. So this 2 over here is only touching 2 tiles. We solve for that. Now this 2 has 2 more, so we don't know which of that it's going to be yet. But this 1 here has a friend, so we don't need either of those. This 4 has 1, 2, 3, 4 neighbours. This 1 now has a friend. Zeros solve themselves, and that's that side done. Now this 1 here is completely enclosed on 5 sides, so that must be 1. And we can see up here we have remaining 0, so we don't even need to think about those last 2. All puzzles can be solved without guessing. So the zeros solve for themselves. These 2s both need to touch the 2 in the center, and with the symmetry that we have at the moment, until we reach the 2 and the 1 that are different on the extremes, we know that this is not, and those are also not. This 1 has a friend, this 1 needs a friend, that 2 is only touching 2. This 1 is already touching 1 to its lower right. This 1 now only has 1 neighbor. Then we're going to have to come over to this side. This 2 is touching 1 and a second. That 1 has 1. This 2 needs a second. So, what else do we know from this? Okay, so we've done everything we can at the bottom, but we have a bit of logic we can use at the top. This 2 must be touching 2 blue cells. So it can either be this one and this one, or this one and this one. In that case, sorry, let me start again. This 2 must be touching 2 cells. If it's touching the left in the center and the right in the center, then one of these 2 1s must be incorrect, because these must only touch 1 each. If it's these for this 2, then this touches 2. If it's these for this 2, then this 1 also touches 2. So it must be the 2 separate ones. We can then solve for those 1s. 1 needs a friend. 1 has a friend already. And there's a second. 2 remaining. Not that 1. Not this 1. 1 there. A second here. And we can get rid of that. 1, 3, appropriately with 3 pairs of 1 and 3. So we can start over here. This 3 is only touching 3, so it must be 3 blues there. This 1 has a friend, so we can get rid of those. 0 solves for itself, and this 2 is already touching 2, so that's not 1. This 1 needs a friend. Now this 2 has 2, so these are not either, which moves us into the center of the grid. Now, what do we know about these 2 sections? Well, this 3 is going to be touching 3, but if it's touching 2 here to make up that 3, this 1 will be invalidated, just like the top of the last level we did. So we know these 2 will be 1, and then one of these will be 1, but we can't know which yet. But what we can do is eliminate this tile, and that being a 0 solves for itself, gives us our 3rd tile for the 3. This 1 has a friend, so we can get rid of those. Then this 1 has a friend as well. So then we're going to need to do a similar trick down at the bottom here. So if this 3 was touching these 2 as part of its 3, this 1 would have too many, so it needs to be these 2 and then one of those, which means we can eliminate these 3. This 1 needs a friend. This 1 has a friend. This 2 needs a second. The 0 solves for itself. Now this 1 is only touching one other tile, which is this, which solves for that 3 and 1 there. Now we need to find 2 more tiles, and we have these 4 to work with, but they must all be valid. So it can't be these 2, can't be these 2, and it can't be those 2, because this one is touching all 3 of them. So this must be one of the 2 remaining. That means this one has a friend, so we can get rid of that. That one also has a friend, and there's our last tile. The logic needed in these is a lot more present than the last game, where it was kind of more straightforward. Numbers inside curly brackets tell you that blue cells are consecutive. So that means on a 3 that has 4 neighbors, the 2 in the center must be blue, because we're either working on the top 3 or the bottom 3. So even though we don't know which, the 2 in the center must be blue. We can do the same solution on this side here. It's going to be at least 2 there, and this blue, this 2 needs 2 consecutive. We have 1 already, so that's the second. We can eliminate those. This 3 does the same thing on an arc of 4, so we must have the 2 in the center. This 2 here must either now join this blue to that, or this blue to that, which eliminates this tile. The 0 solves for itself. 3 on a curly bracket is simply that. We can get rid of those. This 2 needs a second. This 3 now has 3, so we can start working our way up. So that 3 was only touching 3. This 2 needs 2 together. We can't know which of these 2 it is, but we can eliminate this. And the story, I believe, is going to be the same on the other side. And that 0 helps us solve that side. We need 1 for this. We can eliminate that. And there's 1 4 done. Numbers inside hyphen tiles tell you that the blue cells are not consecutive. So let's start with this 4. We have 5 tiles around it, and they can't be consecutive, the 4 that we need. So our options are either, would generally be the 4. The options that we know are eliminated are the 4 on the right or the 4 coming from the left. But in both of those, we know that the ends are definitely blue. However, we can't know which one of the center 3 to eliminate yet. So where else can we go? We know if that's 4 surrounded by 5, we know that 3 surrounded by 4 will follow the same rules. And then we know that this 2 here has 2 non-consecutive blues, so we can eliminate the 2 neighbors of that blue tile. But we do not know which of these 2 it is yet. This 2 has a friend. This 2 now has 2 non-consecutives, so we know that this is not one. That 3 just needs 3 in all. That 3 gets a third. This 2 now has 2. That 2 can have 2 as well. That 1 has a friend. That 2 is solved for already. This 1 is touching this, so that's not 1. Then we know that finishes that 4. This 2 is touching 2, so we can eliminate that. That 1 has a friend. This 2 needs a pair. So now we can work our way up. This 2 needs a second that is not consecutive to this blue, so it must be that one, leaving this to be cleared with 1 on the lower left and the lower right. This 2 tells us this is not 1, and that 2 having a pair tells us this is not as well. Now the 2 on a band of 4 we can't know, because it could be 1 and 3 or 1 and 4 or 2 and 4. But when you have 2 on a band of 3, we know it must be the 2 at the very end. And that means if there's 1 remaining, this 2 can't have either of these, this 2 can't have either of those. That's our last one. And that's 1 5 complete. Alright, so we've got a nice chunky grid here. Where shall we begin? Let's start with this 2. We know that it must be the left and the right ones touching it, eliminating the 1 in the center. Now, that doesn't tell us anything about these, unfortunately. This 3 could have any combination working for it, but this 3 here, with 4 surrounding it, we must know it's going to be the 2 extremes and then 1 in the center, even if we don't know which one in the center that is yet. But that does solve for the 1 who now has a friend, so we can break into this puzzle. This 2, they will not be consecutive, so we clear this. That finishes the 3. This 4 is only touching 4, so we can solve for that. This 2 now has 2, so we can clear that. That 1 needs a friend. This 3 is not going to have 3 consecutive, so we can clear this one. That 3 gets a third. We can't know which of these it is yet, or which of those it is yet for the 3s, so we need to work somewhere else. This 2 with a pair of, with 3 options around it, gets top and bottom. Eliminates this tile, and this 2 with 2 consecutive gets a friend there, clearing those. This 3 has 3 touching it, so we can get rid of those there. This 3 now has only 2 other options. We also know it was these because this 2 with non-consecutives can't have the 2 touching it on the right, so one of them must be on the left. Now, we need one of those. We need one of these. So we need a piece of logic here somewhere. We can eliminate this one from the pair that the 2s are touching. Right, we've got 7 remaining. Where is our piece of logic? This 3 needs a third of one of those. This 3 needs a third of one of those. Oh, this... no. Now, we never have to guess. We know that much. So, what am I missing? 1 is touching 2. We can't clear 1 yet. This 2 has 1. So, one of these 3 must be a tile. We need 7 remaining. So, we need at least 1 there. At least 1 there. So, that would be 2. At least 1 here would make 3. At least 1 there would make 4. At least 1 there would make 5. At least 1 there would make 6. What am I missing? I'm missing something simple. This is only 1 6. Shouldn't be having this much trouble already. I'm stumped. Stumped without guessing, at least. Okay, here we go. This 3 needs a third. So it must be one of these 2. And if it is definitely one of those 2, this 3 needs a third, which will also be one of these 2. So it's not this one. Then that 4 gives us those. That 3 is solved for. This 3 gets that. That 3 gets that there. This 3 has 3 friends. That has 2. We need 1 more up here and to finish the puzzle. The logic was there, just hiding. So rather than risking these parts getting incredibly long, I'm going to cut it down to 1 through 1 6 today, and then tomorrow we'll do 2 1 through 2 6 and see how we're going from there. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you're enjoying the series, please do consider subscribing or hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.